Hello and welcome to Creampuff Plays Minecraft. Yay! It's back. I'm going to start off with a world tour, episode 54. I guess officially the end of season 1, quote unquote. I've been away for a while, but I thought I might come back with a bit of a tour of the world for newcomers. So welcome. We'll start here in our little yet to be named. So none of the areas I have names yet. But this, for now, I'm going to call it the Gnomish or Dwarfish Village. And this was really the inspiration for starting the YouTube channel in the first place. Kbug and I had played many worlds before, just with each other, and I came up with this little house design. I'm like, ooh, I'd like to do that. And I've been thinking about YouTube for a while, and ultimately I just thought, well, let's do it. Let's share the design with the world. And we came in here and we built this little village here. So everything was based off this initial design. Let's see if I can get a nice shot of it. This one here. So it's very large. It's 7 by 7, I think. Yeah, 7 by 7 with only a 3 by 3 interior because I was going for detail and layers on the outside. And it's very stone heavy, very kind of squat and low to the ground, which is why I think it's kind of dwarvish or gnomish. And this is like the kind of more extended version. A little bit of just a... Oh, not really extended. It's just a... still same size? No, it's slightly bigger on the inside. Yeah, this is the 5 by 5 interior. They met a puppy! Hey, little fella! Aw, sweet. There will be a world download in here. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but... I've forgotten the buttons. There we go. So we are on 19W14B, the latest snapshot as I'm recording this. So I kind of built this house to begin with, and went through and just redid all of the villager houses in the same style. This one, not quite in the same style. It's got a similar feel. This was actually just a little starter house that I made for Kbug in one of her worlds, I think. And then we decided to put it here because it looked good. Again, a different variation. We did some detail work on the front, made everything kind of go in a little bit. Slightly kind of longer interior with a little backyard area. Over here we have our cemetery. Very small, but we wander over. We've got like a fancier tombstone, just a little one in the ground, another little one there, one that's been dug or with a treasure in it. There's nothing in there, but kind of imagine it's a coffin still freshly dug. Just a few little tombstones. Not a lot of room to work with. I wanted to make everything nice and squishy, but I actually think it's got a nice feel to it personally. These doors are here, obviously for villager breeding purposes. You come in, nice little cliff face. I still want to do a little bit of work on this cliff edge. This was obviously the first thing that I built, and I think there's some cool terraforming we could do now. This church is definitely one of my favourite things in the village. My decision was to take the church as it existed, so take the regular, everyday villager church and just add to it. So we've given it the same kind of arching roof as the rest of it. The back end has the same kind of feel as the others, and then just got a nice little peak. And if we go inside, we've got a nice little prayer area. It's not a church, it's more just a prayer thing. I saw these as kind of tithe donation boxes, so you could pray, and then obviously you've got the water here. You can have holy water, wash your feet. I kind of like that idea. Wash your feet, wash your hands before you go and gain a blessing. And if we hop up here, I was supposed to come back here with gold and create a bell up here in the little bell tower. What else have I got around here? First ever custom tree. It's not good, but I'm leaving it there because I don't want to get rid of anything that I've created in this world. I came around here and was making little posts to light up the town, and I was going to put glowstone on them, but it just looks silly because it's very low, so when you walk under it, it's like head height. So we've just put mushrooms, that's the wrong thing, pumpkins, down at the base, so they still give off light. Obviously in the new snapshot though, we have lanterns, so I might come through and put lanterns on them and see what that looks like. This was going to be a road sign. So village over this way, so it's going to have a little sign on it saying what was over this way would point to another place, and this way would point to somewhere else. But we haven't named any of the cities yet, so we've yet to do that. Here's one of my dogs. I've got two. I don't know where the other one is, and I haven't named it. Well, I've named one of them. They're named Theodore. I think we'll have Theodore and Felix in memory of my two rabbits who are no longer with us. And they were both white, so it makes sense. Little storage area, again, stuck with the same feel. There's some weird bits in it, because I was trying to get like a multi-level kind of feel. So if we go in, I wanted all of these chests at the back. It doesn't usually look like this. There's a neater way of structuring it, but and now that we can put chests, like double chests next to each other, I think that might do a little bit better. And obviously, it's kind of picked clean at the moment. Not a lot in it anymore. Still got my spruce stuff. Yeah, but just tried to follow. I like the roof. It's got a nice feel about it. And then my enchanting area. Again, real stone heavy, real squat, low to the ground. Oh, villages are looking cool these days. You go in here, very simple. We've got enchanting area, enough bookcases. We've got a chest in there, crafting table underneath the chest, and obviously my ender chest up there, and an anvil. All the things that you need, and a brewing station, because I didn't know where else it was going to go. So if we hop out of here and head over to the blacksmith. So this all started with the fire. So I made this stone kind of hearth, and then built the rest of the building around it. So again, same design, not a lot of difference. So it still starts with the post in the corners. The only difference is we've got these double posts in the corners. I just added a little bit of extraness, and I put the super smelter, or the quicker smelter out here. Some coal blocks in the corner. Obviously they need coal to keep the hearth going. If we go inside, it's really squishy, but nice little. I feel really low to the ground when I duck. So obviously the shopkeeper's area, you can go in here and, yes, I would like to buy some nether bricks. And then he lives above, in his tiny little area. I thought I'd actually put a bed there somewhere. Oh, got my axe equipped. So, nice and squishy. These are all just supposed to be kind of villager houses, but I wanted them to be a bit nicer. Then we go over to the tavern. Again, early on in the series, I was trying to there's some planks missing in the brick. I've gone in with a bit of cobblestone there, make it look a bit old and decrepit. We walk up here into a little tiny kind of drinking area. We've got a keg. We've got a keg here so you could pour a drink. Little drink holder thing, what's it called? A cup, mug, and then a nice little arched roof. Bit of a wooden chandelier in there, which I quite like, actually. And if we go out the back, this is one of my favourite things I came up with. Little cellar to go down into, and we've got barrels on the ground, and then obviously barrels that we can tap. This was the only downside, is I couldn't put planks above the barrels, so they're just kind of hovering there. Looks a bit weird, but you get the general idea. And if you turn the brightness onto moody, I think you're gonna, wow, feels broken. Yeah, it's a bit of a nicer feel in here. And you kind of can forgive some of the problems with it. So if we hop on out, we can go over here and show the mine. The mine is just behind the blacksmith's area, and we'll go over there to the keep. I really enjoyed making this mine area. Rickety staircase going down, built kind of supports into the structure of the mine, made it nice and confined, because that's what it should have been. I had a bit of a plan that I was going to come and like furnish the whole mine, kind of like this, which I might still do. I think that might be quite cool. And the rest of this is just kind of placeholder. Come down in here to the official mine entrance, and I started building this into it, and then I came to a bit of a standstill when we got to a ravine. But that is the kind of mine of this area. As we come around here, just outside of the town, we can see the keep. It's a little tiny, well, not tiny, but it's a little smaller than you'd go for something like a keep. And realistically, a town of this size wouldn't have a garrison. But my thought was that this was going to be quite an important town. It's got the blacksmith. I figured maybe it was the place that all of the iron for the castle came from. So if we come up here, still haven't made a path. and we press the button, which is hard to do, we'll come into this little weird space. So this is a very strange build. This was not planned out. I just kind of started building. So we've got kind of, whatever you want to call this kind of roof, rafters, I guess. We go down, and this is the area where everyone should sleep, and there should be beds. Yep. Just haven't come in here since any of the new updates. So lovely beds for all of the soldiers to sleep. And then this is where it gets weird. So we can go down and into here, which is kind of a little lookout area. And we can go up, and this will take us into the main kind of lookout area. We can have a look out over the village, over to the mountains to see if anyone's coming that way. And then if we come further this way, we can go round another lookout, and then up to the very top, and we can spy who's coming out that way. We can look that way. We can look out of the whole village, and also if anyone's coming from the birch forest. So it's a nice kind of vantage point. So soldiers can see anything. It's just a weird design, really, and everything's very cramped. But I was going through this period of making things very cramped because it felt realer, rather than having, you know, very open bases. Or what I used to do was build massive houses, and they were just very, very open, but they felt really dull and not very alive whatsoever. We've got one more place to go here. When you spawn in, actually, if you do get the world download when you spawn in, these are the coordinates of the village, -742 to 11, because the actual spawn point is about 400 blocks that way. And I ran here, and that was kind of the official start of the season after the series after getting us started off. If we head down this way, we've got some mini farms around the place. Obviously the livestock area, all my sheep and cows. I just wanted to make one big area. They get along. And this nice little wall. It's just a mixture of cobblestone textures, really. So there's some walls, some stairs, some slabs, some full blocks, which is really nice. And then I'll just put this fence up here to stop the sheep and cows from getting out. And I was going to build a farm area here, and I did start building a giant wheat farm here, which I've actually cut down quite a lot of it, and it has hasn't regrown. So this used to spread kind of all the way out there, but we'll come back in and do that. And I really like this new texture of the farmland. That looks real nice. The final thing to show, I guess, is the Woodcutters Cavern, which we can just see poking up over there. Don't want you getting out. And a little chicken farm. Little auto egg chicken thing, which is pretty good. Can't remember what I needed eggs for. I needed it for something. Oh, I needed feathers. And then if we follow this path up here, just a path block and some... well, I think it's actually just spruce. I think I was going to come in with jungle at one point. And this is kind of the log cutter's cabin. I'm not super chuffed with it. It took me a really long time to come up with a design for a cabin that felt like a log cutter's cabin. So I wanted to make it real log heavy. And I kind of see that these cobblestone strips are kind of clamping it down to the ground. And if we come in, we haven't done anything onto the inside yet. But it's got a nice warm, cozy interior. So I thought, you know, a bed in a little area. It's got a little work table. The only downside is there is literally nowhere for them to cut logs. So maybe I should make a little clearing out here, which would make sense. So with an axe somewhere, or yeah. I've got bits of cobblestone everywhere to kind of say here's where a path should be. So let's head on down to our zombie spawner, which was down here. Originally, this zombie spawner, it's right in here. Right here. I really want to get rid of golden apples. I cannot remember what I did last. I think... I have no idea. I've got lots of endstone. I do remember, actually. I had this plan on... Do that. Pick up. Yep, that's fine. So originally, this spawner, I had a drop spawner. So you'd come all the way down here, they'd drop down, you'd aggro them, and then just hack them to death. It was real rudimentary, and this was originally a bit of a strip mine that I had going. Oh, I'd forgotten about that, actually. I should probably go back in there and get some stuff. It was really rudimentary. It was fun to build, but didn't really work. And then... then I kind of looked up and thought myself a little bit fancy. So, I've actually forgotten how to get to my spawner now. Oh, there we go. Hello. So if we come up here, I'll turn the brightness back up for you. Can I just... Oh, I can't just grab. Weird. So now they all fall into here. This is a really old, like, just lava blade. There's just a dropper that burns them. And then, once they're all burnt. So that was my earliest ever grinder. And obviously zombie grinders suck. You do not get a lot of XP from them. Now let's go into the Nether. And since then, obviously... I'm saying obviously a lot. Would you stop it with your nonsense? Since then, I now have a... With new terrain generation... And this snapshot is real, I tell you. Alright, so if you come into the Nether, I've got a cobblestone path that will lead us to wherever we need to go. And next we're going to go to... Well, I'll just show off what I've done. I'll go there last. If you come up here, this is the first step of my kind of Nether area. I'm probably not going to go with this design in the end. For like a nexus. Like a Nether hub. It's originally a design I liked, but I think we could probably do better. And I've seen some really creative designs recently from the Hermitcraft and Jishuma, or Asuma. So I want to do something a bit better. I would fly this, but my elytra is savagely close to death. So let's just go over to Amazon Gulch. So if you just keep following this path down, the first nether portal you come to will take you to Amazon Gulch, which is the so far the only town with a name. But it's weird because the only person that lives there is the man with no name. Okay, so if you come out here, this was our western village. Got really into trying to make a western village after watching Westworld. And I'm like, ooh, I could do that. And I've never built that before. So I really like this. There's still a lot of work left to do. It's mid in build. So I kind of slightly abandoned, I guess. So first of all, there's this nice giant path that kind of weaves its way through the rock or through the mesa. Got lots of nice cacti put down. It would be really nice if we could put cactuses next to one another. I got a covered wagon coming in here. I don't know how I feel about the covered wagon, really. I just like the idea, and I'm going to put a big sign over here. It says Amazon Gulch, I thought. And a covered wagon, horse could go in here pulling it through. I just thought that'd be nice. And I like these little brown concrete powder. Kind of looks like cart tracks. A little bit of a covered over well. I liked that. Yeah. Now, we've got a brothel. That was the original aim for this building. I liked the challenge of making a corner building. Do I like it? Not sure. I like the outside of it. I think it's got a nice feel about it. I like the doorway. Not sure about those bits. I might get rid of those. I like the doorway, the difference in wood textures. I feel like that maybe this could be domed a little bit, but I like the corner facade. And over here, this is the main tavern. Saloon, that's the word I'm looking for. Main saloon, and I kind of thought the mayor of the town or the owner of the town or the richest person in town would live above the saloon, and he could walk on this balcony up here and look out over the town and sneer at people. Or if you're Michael McShane from Deadwood, you could just stand up here and swear at everyone. This would be general store. I don't know, possibly my favourite building. And there you can just see my automatic lights as the sun's going down, the lights come on. I don't know, there's just something nice about this building. It's got a really good feel about it. So we pop up, go in, blah, blah, blah. And we'll have to put probably stairs somewhere. We'll either have to make them on the side here or at the back to get up to that top floor. But I really think that looks nice as a general store. If we turn around, we'll see the prison, or the jail, quite nice. The sheriff's office. If you go inside... Sheriff desk, really that's all you need, sheriff desk, probably put a chair over here, and then the prison cell, made out of brick of course, for protection, a little bit of a place, a couple of places to sit, somewhere to sleep, and a place to poop. And if we go around to the side here, we did actually put a staircase on the side, for where the sheriff might sleep, because I figured most places in this kind of era would be dual purpose. And then finally the bank, as you can see from our lovely dollar sign up there. And then if we go back here through the tellers area, kind of impromptu smelting area, and the vault. Okay, so we've got the gates coming through the vault, and we've got these safes, which looked better, I will admit, in B-Dub's texture pack, because iron in that was kind of a dark, really dark grey. End rods for lighting, and just storage out the wazoo, which makes sense for a vault, I guess. Now, if we keep wandering through, we'll see our gallows. I liked the idea, if we come back here, of the gallows being kind of central, so that no matter where you were in the town, you'd be able to see the traitors or the criminals being hung or hanged. So come up here, stand on the trapdoor, and then nope. And I'll probably dig out the bottom as well. But quite like the look of that. Maybe go even shorter, but the problem is when it's shorter, just doesn't quite look right, I don't think. But just do that. And then finally we kind of started laying out the rest of the village. So there's going to be a little building here. We did this one, kind of had some darker wood, some acacia, not bad. It's a difficult thing because the Western style houses were all fairly plain. They're all just basically boxes like this, but with a facade on them. There's only so much you can do with that, I think. So let's head on up to the church. Now if we come up to the top here, this is actually, before I look at the church, this was a initial concept for this area that I was trying to come up with, and ultimately didn't go with, because it basically looks like my first town, but in wood. So I didn't really like it. So I thought, well, let's just go full Western then. Why aren't we doing that down in the thing, down in the valley? But what we did build up here is this church. Let's see if I can. Sniper. Which fairly plain, but again, Western buildings are plain. So we could come in here and do some wood texturing, which probably would be a good idea. We've got the spire at the front, so the big tower with the spire at the top. And if we go in through there, hey Frienderman, going through there, obviously church bell would be up there. We've got all the pews, a little bit of carpeting down the middle, which is actually made out of terracotta, and a nice little pulpit, which the priest can stand up there and talk to his congregation, which is good. The one thing that's missing is obviously there's nowhere to get up here yet. Had this plan of building like a rickety wooden staircase up the side of the mountain. So the logic behind putting it up here was the reason that churches have such high towers and the big spires and everything is because they try to get as close as possible to God. So I thought, well, if that's the case, why would you put the church down here in this little valley when you could... There's a hole in my thing. When you could put it right at the top of the biggest mountain around, or the biggest hill around, and then have it right at the top. Plus, there's a certain aspect that you'll climb up here every time to go to the church to show your devotion to your God, which kind of makes sense. So that's the Western area. We'll come back to all of these places eventually. Nothing's completed. I think that's the curse of most Minecraft kind of Let's Players, most Minecraft YouTubers, is that most of their projects never quite get completed. And I think that's good, because I think it'll be interesting to come back. To this area when I'm a better builder and see what I can do. So the next area we'll go to will be the floating Elven Temple. So coming out of the Amazon Gulch Nether portal, you just want to follow the cobblestone all the way through here, down the stairs, and then just keep following the cobblestone. That'll take you to everywhere that we can currently go. Okay, so coming in through the Nether portal, obviously we can see the big old flying thing up there. But first, the plan down here was I've got lots of custom birch trees, and actually I was going for more of a I'm going to say cypress, but that's not right. And lag much? There we go. Poplar, maybe cypress, I don't know. But this kind of vibe, which I haven't really gotten. I think the biggest issue that I have in this place is that I've done these custom trees, but they're all too small. I need them very high, very uniform, more like, let's have a look. I've got like the best one. It's kind of like these ones here. These ones are kind of the best ones. They're nice and tall. They're nice rounded uniform bushes. This one's quite good as well. Yeah, so this one's quite good. I like that. That's kind of what I was going for, but got a little bit carried away. But basically want these nice little rocky outcrops, these nice tall poplar trees, bushes everywhere. I'm going for white flowers, which is why I've got oxeye daisies everywhere, because I'm going for a magical feel, and I think I'm going to come around with like invisible? No. I'm going to come around with, what do you call them? Ender chests? Is that right? Ender chest? Anyway, and put them under the ground, maybe under the tree, so it's got kind of these purple particles, purple magical particles around. And the plan is we're going to come around through here with cobblestone and stone and make like a tiny little cliff edge all around for this water to kind of splash up against, which I think will look really cool. And all of this is going to be underneath the floating city, the floating elven kind of magical city. So this is, you know, if you imagine the ground is where they draw their power from, or the earth is where they draw their power from. So there'll be this magical earth underneath them, and they will be floating above. I had a plan. I had a really crazy plan that I was going to basically make the underside here and cut it out from the ground, so it's almost like it's risen out of the ground. May or may not still do that, but that sounds like it would be quite tricky to do. Hello. Oh, this is nervous. How about I just do that? And then we can put that back and pillar it up. So you can see I've done a little bit of terraforming down there. Still a lot more to do, and I'll go back and fix that up. If we hop on up, and this is what we're currently working on, which is a big old elven temple full of quartz, bright and white. And it all started with, I liked this idea of these arches, but not even. So this arch is slightly to the left of this one, and this one's to the right of that one. And that's where it kind of all started. The downside is, of course, that quartz is really annoying to go and mine and find, and I need a lot of it because every single block in here is quartz. Now, I kind of shared this on Twitter, I think. Wells Night, which was a really exciting day for me, I won't mind saying. Wells Night got back to me and kind of suggested try the white concrete, which we've been doing, and I think we'll probably end up doing, at least for the base layer. That means we can free up some quartz for some other layers, and we'll see how it looks across the board. But very intricate, lots of kind of archways and flourishes and things. It's all in an attempt just to make it look really ornate. So I think in an episode soon we're going to finish this. I might just do like a big old time lapse and chat about it. So if you come in through here, we've got a lot to go. So this stretches a little bit further this way, to be honest. That's not the end point, and then it kind of will curve round in 3 kind of curves. Big stained glass windows, big nether portal in the middle, couple of nice little poplar trees in the center, and then of course we've got all the detail in the roofs to go. But really nice. I really like what I've done here. It's one of my favorite things that I've built. It's not one of my favorite things to build because it's really hard to do in survival. It was hard enough to do in creative. We did a lot of this on stream, my first Twitch stream, which was cool. Had a couple of people come out. It was nice. It was nice. I fear I may have bored them because we just built this for the whole stream. But yeah, we've got some quartz left. Not a huge amount. I might just take a bed with me. No, I won't, because then I'm going to the end after this. So this will kind of be here, and I kind of envisioned that. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of chains linking the areas together, but at the same time, that might be tricky to do. So, still got some thinking to do, and I still need to finish off the bottom of this, which is actually really difficult. Like this took ages. Just took ages and ages. Because of the pillaring and so forth. But it's good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun. So, one last place, and while you're watching, if you've got any suggestions for names for any of these places, please don't hesitate to suggest it. I would love if we could have names for all of these places. I kind of envisioned that in future videos, I'd like a little pop-up that comes up on the screen to show us where we are. Kind of stolen from Rendog a little bit. He's got that now visiting Ren's base and things like that, which is, I really, really like. So that would be cool, as every time we entered a new area, a little thing popped up. So you can see, I built this pit originally and thought, yeah, that'll be right. And then I built it out and thought, okay, we'll make it a bit bigger. And now, obviously, it's getting a lot bigger. And I still need to extend it off the back even further. So it's going to be quite huge. But we'll make it look cool. We'll make the whole thing look like that. I think that would be great. Now let's go to the end. So coming back into here, I actually wanted to mention that I liked the look of this spiking out of the ground. It had, like, it reminded me of ribs a little bit, and I thought that was kind of grotesque. But I actually really like the idea of having a area in the Nether that's like the overworld, but that we can still see the Nether behind that. I don't know why. Often go for like the Nether creeping into the overworld, but I like the idea of the overworld creeping into the Nether. So if we follow this up into this nice giant portal, we will get to the end portal, which takes us pardon me, which takes us to here, and if you just hang a left, you'll find our end portal. I started building in an unreleased episode. I started building a end portal kind of room. I was going to fill this full of this beautiful end stone. I love the color of it. But at the time, you couldn't do end stone. You couldn't do end stone stairs. I don't know if you still can. I just want to take just a little bit of time just to check. Can we do end stone brick stairs? Yes, there is now. Okay, I thought there might be. With all the new updates, because there's a lot of new slabs and things coming, so that means we will definitely come up with a nice design for here. But until then, I've got a joke for you. Why do scuba divers fall backwards out of the boat? Because if they fell forwards, they'd still be in the boat. I really like that joke. I don't know how you feel about it, but I really like it. So if you come up, we've got a little bit of a staircase out of our end portal. And then you turn left, and this will take you to a beautiful ender. Based on, I want to say it's Doc M's design, but I'm not entirely sure. So this was Doc M's design from like 1.12? Maybe 1.10 even. So obviously you have to make it a really long way away from the main area to get the most Enderman spawns, and you can see they're all running up here. I like the look at this. This was just a lazy Sunday afternoon. We made it. And it works a treat. They're loud. They're real loud. It works a treat, so they just fall down. That's so loud to me. I don't know how loud that'll be to you, but... and they're a one hit, and obviously we get Ender Eyes out the wazoo, and obviously XP out the wazoo, which is the whole point. And then we've got a nice little enchanting area down here with everything you really need for enchanting, and all of the books. So eventually it's just going to be stacked high with stuff. If we hop on up... oh yeah. It's all built on slabs, so nothing spawns on it. Obviously you get the occasional spawn here and there. Let's just hop on up here. This is quite fun to make, actually. Failed a couple of times. This was some of the biggest fails that I've ever done. Because the way it works is, if I can just... Yep, oh, right at the top. The way it works is I have an endermite in a minecart. So getting it there was a bit of a hassle. And then endermen try to kill endermites. So they spawn on this platform. And I just made it this shape. You don't have to make it this shape, but I made it this shape so that they had a direct funnel into here. And then, yeah, they fall straight down to their death, or to their almost death. the biggest problem that we have is with mob cramming. So thanks for that, Mojang. Seriously. That's really loud. Okay, that's a bit better. Is with mob cramming, and they'll sometimes kind of do this, where there'll just be Endermen everywhere. It doesn't affect spawn rates. So that's all good. And you just kind of have to sit here, punch them away occasionally, and you get a nice amount of XP that we can use to enchant. Really need to fix my elytra and get mending on it, because obviously that's what I need here. So I need to find plans for the series ahead. Is I've got a new civilization to start work on. I've got some ideas for buildings already. We're going to build a nice desert civilization. I need to fix my elytra, which means we need to not sleep for a couple of nights in order to kill the phantoms, which I'm a bit nervous about. From what people have said, they're a bit scary to fight. And obviously this is... Oh yeah, I'm going to go. Watch out. I thought you'd be dead. Watch out. Wow. Something on my... That is my sharpness 5. Wow. From what I've heard, the phantoms are quite freaky to fight. And obviously being a hardcore world, I'm not super keen on fighting something that could kill me. So, but yes, that is my world. It's been quite a few years. I've been doing this for maybe 3 or 4 years now. And it's great fun. And I really want to thank all of my subs, all 202 as of recording this. I've got 202 subs, which is really cool. Share, just give me a comment if you want me to do something like a Q&A. That would be great. I'll be happy to do that as kind of a 200 subscriber special. But yeah, thanks very much for being with me and following this journey. And any new watchers, I really hope you enjoy what you see, and I'd really like you to subscribe if you did. If you didn't, what would be really nice actually is if you just comment down below and tell me what would you like to see more of, what would make you want to subscribe. But until then, as we watch the setting sun, thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you hopefully soon in the next episode of Creampuff Plays Minecraft. Bye!